Snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin, and with the other Gage.
Yeah, apparently with the other Gage, because that ain't right.
just a little bit, a little off there.
With jokes. And you are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about all the things happening in pop culture. And today, Doctor Who, what up? Today, Cuddy, what we not gonna do is talk about the iPhone 15.
I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that, honestly.
No iFruit talk.
That's a whole different thing. Dog, you in a completely different space with that. We actually could talk about iFruit today. Sin, I know I showed you the picture since now you didn't brought it up. I said we not going to talk about iPhone, bro. I'll give you that. That's great that they are finally doing what they were forced to do. They really try to make it sound like we're so excited about USB-C. No, you had no choice.
Right.
You had no choice. Though I do think they are doing some cool things with it. What up, Heather? Sin, I sent you the image, or I showed it to you, the image of the new car that they're bringing for the 10th anniversary of Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
5, right?
Yes.
I saw it in action today.
Oh, you was in them streets?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I just said I saw it in action today. And that joint has like some sort of peekaboo doors in the top of it.
Peekaboo.
I don't know what's happening.
All right, we gotta go hunting. We gotta hit them streets.
These streets.
We gotta hit these streets.
I'm imagining it's not gonna hit until Thursday, which is when the normal updates are, but we'll see how that goes.
We got some hunting to do. We gotta get these whips for Extra Life.
We have so much to do for Extra Life. It's gonna be a little out of control. I have big plans. Jokes, you have a job to do.
Yes, sir. Actually, we're gonna go around the long way.
Terrible, dog.
Hey, it is how it wants to do now, so this is how we gonna do.
I mean, do what you gotta do. Jokes will get that link up there for you. I'll put the link up here for you. While he does that, so you guys can check us out across all our socials.
Can't just send him the link.
Nah, dog.
We're gonna do it this way.
And that way you guys can follow us across all our socials. What up, Kai? Saying you have a job to do.
Yes, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbaye. Thank you very, very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
It's an absolute fact. Thank y'all so much for all that you do so that we can do all that we do. The last weekend, we spent our time in Baltimore, hanging out at the convention center for Baltimore Comic-Con. As a team, Friday, Saturday. Apparently we made the news. That's a whole interesting thing. Gentlemen, thoughts on Baltimore Comic-Con? Jokes, you first, buddy.
It was cool. Like as usual, we get in. As we try to get the lay of the land, we run into old faces alike that we, of course, just have to stop, talk with, try to line things up or whatnot ever. I think we met a few new people as usual. But overall, I think it was mellow. Like it wasn't super crazy in there for the time period frame that we was in there for it. Yeah, it was mellow, I think is the word to use for it.
Okay. Sin?
It was cool. Like it's the usual Baltimore Comic-Con situation that we see a lot of the same people. We did meet a couple new people. Overall, it was cool. Had a great time, with catching up with people and doing what we do. But other than that, it was just cool this year. It wasn't like really, mind blowing or anything like that. It was solid.
I think it was boring. I mean, for us, it's we're typically doing a lot more ripping and running and so forth, and it's nice to sometimes be able to go and just kind of, keep it a little chill and have a little bit more of a low profile. But like if we don't have, like specifically, I guess, like if we don't have a panel lined up or have some sort of a, I don't know, like a celebrity interviews or something like that lined up. It's the convention is Baltimore compared, I feel like, to other conventions we do. I feel like it's losing some of its glory. Like it just, for a long time, Baltimore was almost the only real game in town.
We've come a long way. Wow.
now I think that there's just so much else going on consistently, not just in terms of big conventions, because there have been other big conventions forever, but there are a lot of really good conventions in the area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part of me that's beginning to feel like Baltimore needs to step it up a little, which is like, it's not that they didn't have good celebrities, you know what I'm saying? Which is not necessarily like the thing. I think that there's a mindset that needs to be maybe adjusted as these conventions continue to just kind of pile on top of each other. I think that's part of what the other problem is. And, you know, Baltimore followed Dragon Con just the week before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Dragon Con is an all-out take over the city for 5 days convention. And a lot of people who we would normally see just in attendance, not necessarily in terms of vendors or that kind of thing, but just in terms of attendance, just weren't there. And that's not always a bad thing. I think that the traffic was decent. I don't think they made like crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't feel like a lot of conventions we've been going to. It feels like everything we've gone to recently, they've just been like exponentially increasing their attendance, their numbers, you know what I mean? And Baltimore may either be doing the wrong thing by not kind of stepping it up to differentiate itself, or very much the right thing by continuing to be a con that, compared to something like Awesome Con, is more of an actual comic con. It is a convention for and about comic books, for and about comic book lovers, for the most part, right? And I do think that separates it in a lot of ways, and there are reasons for people who are specifically interested in those things to go and spend their time and their money there, as opposed to something like Awesome Con, which doesn't have comic in the title, and is a lot more TV celebrity based in terms of that kind of space. And so I think that the feel is beginning to differentiate itself a little bit. And I don't know that's necessarily a bad thing. The consensus that I got from talking to people was that it was weird this year.
Okay.
You know, Baltimore has this thing where it seems like every other year, they time it the same time as the marathon. People
Like,
struggle to get in. They
with
timed it this year with Sunday being the opener for the NFL. They timed it this year only 1 week behind Dragon Con, which is arguably, if you're not New York or San Diego, Dragon Con is probably the biggest convention. You know what I mean? That there really is, which feels more like Dragon Con is more of a cosplayers convention, I feel like. Also, Colossal Con was also
the same
weekend. You know what I mean? At the same time. There's a lot of conventions that are vying for time and energy and space and money. And to me, these pop culture conventions are beginning to feel a lot like streaming services. It's just like, you can go to all of them.
Right. You got to pick and choose. Yeah.
I'm going to, you know what I mean? It is. And so I think that there's obviously definitely a space still for Baltimore, but it does feel a little uneventful. Maybe that's partially because, like, I don't think for the last 2 years, maybe the last 3 years, well, 2020, obviously. One of the big things about Baltimore was always like the big photo shoot on the steps outside, which just doesn't happen anymore. And like, shout out to Harry Crossland, who like this year took over the cosplay contest, right? And has the cosplay showcase and gives people an opportunity to come in and do that, but kind of not having that sort of a tent pole. Hey, everybody meet outside at this time. We're gonna do a big thing. It's a spectacle. It draws in people from the outside. What's really going on over there? They see all the people up on the steps, and like some of those things that especially a thing like that has always been like, when you go there. I mean, my ice cold water man not there no more.
Nope. He's been gone for some years now.
I hope he okay. Like this one, like
I do too, because we ain't seen him since before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it has a bit of a different feel. Also, like there was supposed to have been a Bruce Springsteen concert this weekend, so like hotels were like bought up and stuff because of that. So there just was a lot, I think, happening externally this year that had an effect on it. Having said that, man, it was good to see a lot of the people that we got to see this year. It was really great to see J. Robert Deans, Mama Deans, and Kidlet at their table. Great to see Tuskegee Ayers, ran into TJ Sterling a couple of times. Good to talk to Jason Lennox. All these people who are still grinding, still working hard, putting together new stuff. We got a lot of really good networking opportunities out of it, and we're able to kind of set some things up. Shout out to Art by Quentin. Marcus Williams, to kind of get some things ready and going for Extra Life, which is, kind of a bigger focus, this year than it has been in years past. Shout out to, Shay Tonks and the team at Red Valkyrie. It looks like we're going to have a really solid team and some things going on for Extra Life that, an event like this is really, really great for kind of, getting in touch with people and seeing people face to face and that kind of thing. So, really cool. Layout was different this year. I don't really know how that affected things.
A little weird.
I don't say they change up every year, try something different.
Yeah.
This year was just it was just like Artist Alley was like split up in 3 different locations. Which normally
I counted 2.
Yeah,
no. So typically, when we were up near Comic Logic, that last row, they had a thing there that said Artist Alley as well too.
You're right.
And normally, I know they sometimes separate the celebrity artists and put them like in a specific area. So there was like that row. I don't know to what extent how much was there, but I think that whole row was also considered to be Artist Alley. So it was essentially 3 areas of Artist Alley that I think that made things a little confusing depending on what it was you were trying to find potentially.
I mean, yeah, what I did like is that they had a huge, it used to be they'd have these giant banners that would hang and tell you where things were, and you would kind of follow the aisles. And now it's like, I don't even know how you're supposed to know where you are when you're there. But they did have like a big like stand kind of in the middle, like welcoming people in the Artist Alley. They had a whole thing written on it that said, thank you for supporting, the artists and the vendors that come there, which I think is cool. Because again, there's a lot of bread and butter that's made by a convention like Baltimore by having, vendors like that. They're paying for the table spaces to help pay, what it costs to use that space. Overall it was cool. I had a good time. I enjoyed it, but I didn't like. I do feel like I could have skipped it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've ever really felt that way before about Baltimore.
No, I agree with that.
So again, I just think it's timing, it's mindset. I didn't see if they posted the dates for next year yet.
I don't think they did. Normally they're pretty quick about that, but let's see.
Yeah. Again, there's a lot of conventions, a lot of people bouncing and moving times around. A lot of the times and dates are strange now.
Nope.
Nothing posted yet, right?
Nope. Nothing.
So I find that interesting too.
September 20th through the 22nd.
Yeah, So that's
on their
late.
website. They don't have it updated on their website.
It's never updated on their website. They always drop a post in Facebook. Yeah, they don't update that until like a week after the fact.
Gotcha.
Something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I had a good time. I feel like if you haven't been to conventions this year, or you hadn't, like, you'd have been there, you'd have had a good time. You know what I mean? I feel like it was spaced out well. We definitely walked away with some purchases, didn't we, Sin?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Okay.
It's over there in the corner.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Jokes, did you pick up anything while we was there?
The only thing I picked up a jump for Marcus. I got him a Fiend Funko Pop. I got me the last, like, before we left, we went over to where the guy that had like the cat stuff, and it was funny enough, he had some Pokemon stuff over there as well too. So I got like a Charizard air freshener for the car. That was pretty cool.
Okay,
Charizard was wearing like Jordan 1s, like red and white, to kind of it was a little bit different, something I hadn't seen. I was like, nah, what the heck? I need to do something to the car to make it a little more of my personality.
Tatiana, no, I didn't mention the loud intercom guy.
He actually he didn't interfere with anything that we did.
The only reason he didn't, because we weren't doing as many interviews as
we didn't. We got like 2 interviews. Like most of what we were doing, we're just kind of talking to network and stuff like that. Like we didn't really shoot.
Trust me. So if we'd have been shooting regularly, then he'd have been interrupting everything.
I still find it annoying. I mean, look, I do think that there is something to be said for
good afternoon, Baltimore Comic-Con.
Just like that. Just like that.
Oh, and one more thing.
Exactly. That's my man. Like my man just like never stops being super interruptive. But again, like, it's annoying. It's the only convention we go to where that happens. However, sort of, I do think it's cool that they have somebody that keeps people reminded of, like, oh, hey, there's this major panel happening. Oh, hey, the celebrities you were waiting for are back at their table now, or whatever. Just in case there's so much going on in there. It's not a bad thing. We just find it annoying because we're usually in there like talking business or shooting, something or whatever. So I don't think it's that bad. To be, to actually be super honest. We kind of do the same thing like at StellarCon. Like we kind of try to get up on stage and make announcements about. We would do the same thing at like All Star. We're on stage, we're announcing, oh, hey, so and so's, photos are happening at this time. So like, we're responsible for doing some of the same thing. We just happen to be cooler than him.
Facts.
He does have a better radio voice than any of us, but that's another thing. Cosplay showcase was pretty dope. Jokes, you got some good pictures?
Got a lot of pictures. I just finished the showcase and going in and touching up some pictures, so I'm gonna have those that I'll actually be able to upload. I still got to go back and touch up the ones from the contest, but a lot of good stuff that we saw during the showcase and the contest.
Did you have a favorite cosplay? I'm gonna tell you right now, the person who won cosplay contest, was like that joint. That xenomorph, that like steampunk
xenomorph.
That thing was fire.
That joint was
fire.
The samurai. I don't know if he was a Sith or if he was just a Jedi. I'm not sure exactly which one he was, but that joint was dope.
He's always dope though. But we saw him at Awesome Con. He was at StellarCon last year. You know what I mean? We saw him at my man's out there getting it, but I had never seen that xenomorph.
Yeah,
that was new joint with the bike chain tail. That joint was.
Hey, and that joint had the smoke coming out the back of. Initially, I didn't see it.
Had the light tube on the side. That was like,
it was like, this joint smoking. I was like, oh, that joint is smoking.
That joint was clean. The baby Groot joint.
The baby Groot joint was
tough.
Oh,
That joint was
a nicely fine touched up bush, like just like yank that Joan up and put it on. Like that Joan looks super real.
It looked like Groot did in the animated joint. It looked just like it. It was really dope. So definitely some really cool, really good cosplay. Yeah, we had a good time. Anything else y'all want to say? Before we move on from Baltimore, Senator, like you wanted to show off a little.
Oh, just the thing that I did purchase my new sword, as you all can see. Pretty pricey, but worth every penny of it. Modern hilt.
What? You don't use it.
I think his hope is that one day he will have to use it.
Yeah, double bladed.
No, that's not.
Hey, Sin. Just so they know, tap the hilt on your desk right quick, so they just know that Joan is like solid.
Oh, this thing is very real. This thing is very real and very sharp. Yes, but one of my new favorites. Love this thing. So put you right here.
I feel like you have enough swords now that you could cosplay as Zorro at this point.
Technically yes. with all real ones, like this, no. And there's no way I'll be putting this in my mouth. That's not. That's not. They would be on the hip, and that would be it.
That's fine.
Oh no! I got enough, Perp.
You cannot bring real swords.
No,
you cannot cosplay.
Telling him, no, hold up. Let me. I'm not telling him to bring it to a con. He can absolutely cosplay and dress up and take a picture with it. I'm not telling him to take it into a con. Sin knows better than that.
Of course.
All right, hold on. Cindy, you know better than that?
Yes, I know better than that.
You see how disappointed he is about it? Come on, man. Yeah. Baltimore Comic-Con. Over and done. We still have 3 conventions left this year. 2 conventions left this year. Doctor Who's offering to take those Zorro picks. Go get yourself together, man. Zatoichi, Blind Swordsman joints. I feel like that's a little more your speed than Zorro actually is. However, if you dye your hair green, I don't know, maybe for Extra Life this year.
I still got stuff to make it purple sitting right there. But green for Zorro.
Yo, we gotta get that Superman S in my man's hairline. Have to.
Go ahead and line that cut up.
Yo, we have some things planned, y'all. Jokes. Xbox announced a MasterCard.
Yeah.
Did you read into it at all?
I didn't read the full entire thing about it. I do know initially when you get it, I believe the first thing they give to you is Xbox Live or Game Pass. I believe it's Ultimate. I think they give to you. I don't know if they give you something like initially off that first purchase. But other than that, that's really the only thing that I knew outside of the nice different designs that you can select from for your card too.
You like those designs? Are those designs pulling you in?
Hey,
are you like, cool. Oh snap! I gotta get me an Xbox MasterCard now.
Folks gonna know it's like swipe my card, your Xbox swipe. Game Pass.
All right, you get one?
I don't know.
I mean, it's only open to insiders.
Right,
well, it starts on the 21st. It's only open to insiders up front. It won't be open to everybody else until next year. You are an insider.
I am.
Like myself.
I don't know if I need to get another credit card.
Well, let's talk about why you would and or wouldn't. Then, shall we? You know what? Here is the direct summary from Xbox Wire.
Okay.
We are introducing the no annual fee Xbox MasterCard issued by Barclays. The Xbox MasterCard allows card members to earn points with everyday purchases and redeem those points on games and add-ons at Xbox.com. The Xbox MasterCard will be available exclusively to Xbox insiders in the continental United States, Alaska, and Hawaii beginning on September 21. To become an insider, visit the program. It's not super hard to become an insider, but it takes some time, just so y'all know. Let's hit a couple other points. With the Xbox MasterCard, players can earn points for every dollar spent on purchases, including, get ready, jokes. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're ready. Xbox and Microsoft. So you earn 5 times card points on eligible purchases at the Microsoft store.
Makes sense.
We'll see what that really means.
Eligible.
It's interesting that it specifically calls out eligible purchases, but 5 times points, which I don't know. We'll get into the math in a minute. Streaming services. So you earn 3 times card points on eligible streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus.
Okay.
Dining delivery services. So earn 3 times card points on eligible dining and delivery services like Grubhub and DoorDash. And then for everyday purchases, you earn 1 point. I know that's where your points will be coming from. That's what I'm saying. That's kind of crazy. Earn 1 X card points on all other everyday purchases. So, starting there, because I think those are going to be like the key benefits, right? 1, you're earning points that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
Those points are not like, they are like air miles, but they're not air miles. So, but some people might rather have points that they can spend on games or other things. Like if you can use them at the Microsoft store, depending on what's there, you're talking gaming accessories, you're talking full-on PCs, laptops, Surface tablets, right, notebooks, that kind of thing. So there's a possibility, right, that it might be really worth it for some people. As a matter of fact, I'm positive that it's really worth it for some people. I think that there is definitely a market for it, right? It's not like PlayStation has a credit card. You know what I mean? So it's not uncommon for this to be a thing. Microsoft's rivals are wider than most other companies, I think. When you think of them the way you normally think of them, like you think Xbox and you think PlayStation and maybe Nintendo in terms of competition. But again, you're talking about Microsoft, so you also have to look at Apple and Amazon, which has a card, and which makes sense because Amazon is shopping. But those kinds of places as well. That Apple has a card. Just you know what I mean? So it makes sense for them to get in position in some manner with this, and I'm honestly surprised it hadn't happened sooner. But I think it makes sense. Sin, does this matter to you at all?
I might look into it and decide if I want to get it just to have like an emergency credit card in the house for whatever reason. Stuff that comes back to getting points for Microsoft or Xbox stuff. I know I would actually use that stuff. So it's possible. We'll see.
I straight up use it on the streaming services and the Grubhub. There's things that you normally would just buy normally.
Right.
Just put them on the card, just pay it right off. Literally, that would be that type of card.
Right.
You use it for those, just pay it off and just keep cycling it like that, honestly.
Yeah, if you're paying for those things anyway. I don't know. I don't know that somebody else gives you like triple points for something like that. Right. So if you're doing that anyway, if you figure what it costs you to have Netflix and Disney and you add that up in triplicate, it comes out to some pretty solid spending, over the year. I don't know, man. I think that there's definitely a use case for this. There are people who like this is going to be perfect for them. Sin, you are not an insider though.
I don't think I am. I think I gotta what I gotta do to finish the process to get there. So I think I just got my update. The last update y'all had, I think I just got it because I just noticed my Xbox looked different. I was like, huh, that wasn't like that a couple days ago, and it like just happened like today.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, you know, it would be interesting to see if people actually sign up for the insider programs.
Just to try to get in the card.
That's a little wild. I don't know about that. You know, but again, Microsoft does things different. Like Microsoft takes cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay with PayPal. You can pay with Venmo. You know what I mean? On there, like there's a lot of that kind of stuff. I will say this. I should have seen this coming because I noticed that they changed the rewards program for like the Bing rewards and stuff like that. Like a lot of the stuff that you used to get points for, you don't get points the same way you used to anymore. And they really stopped kind of calling that out. They would say that they revamped that program, but they kind of ramped it down by comparison. But it also used to be, I feel like, much harder to get like your points to get your extra 100 every month or whatever. Or every week. It's every week. But I mean, it's still there. There's already a program sort of like this that exists. And I would imagine that just in what they see there, they figured that this might be, you know, a good use case. So just a couple more quick bullet points. So card members get a bonus of 5,000 card points, which is a $50 value after their first purchase. So again, 5,000 points is only $50. You know, but it'll take you a long time to earn $50 depending on what you're buying.
Depending on what you're buying.
Yeah.
But if you're buying games like crazy, like every single month, honestly, I think between games, the food, and the subscription services, like at least just from me personally, I feel like I would be able to ramp up points relatively quickly just off of the three of those things, honestly.
Well, let's think about that for a second. You like math jokes? Let's do a little math. I don't know if you actually like math. I don't, but let's do a little math. Average game now is $70.
Yep.
Right. And you earn 5 times points on game purchases from Xbox. So how many points is that? It's 5 times 7.
So 350.
So 350 points. However, how often do you buy a game versus get games for free on Game Pass?
It depends. I would say it's 50-50.
Yeah.
A lot of them it's 50-50, honestly. Like a lot of them do drop in the Game Pass, but when they do things like Starfield, you buy like the early access you get in type of thing. But anything that's not affiliated with Microsoft, so like we're trying to think of something. Any
Mortal Kombat,
Street Fighter, Tekken, any of those type of titles, Assassin's Creed, for right now at least until they potentially do something there. I think those would be the ones. And I'm the type of person that always gets like the deluxe edition too, so that would end up being like $120 probably, depending on which title it is.
Right. So like
Destiny,
if it was,
oh god,
right. If it was, let's use Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat Ultimate Edition is $110, $116 or so with tax, right? So, I mean, if you're getting 5 times points on that,
it's almost 600.
You know what I mean? That's almost 600 points. It's almost 600 points, but you need 5,000 points to equal $50.
Yeah. That right there. Don't
you know what I'm saying? Like you got to do that 10 more times to get $50. 10 more times to get $50. Now again, if you're doing recurring for your, Netflix, right? Your Netflix is $18 a month now. If you're doing 4K, I think it's 18 now. So if you do that like over the year, I mean, again, that's a lot, but you only get 3 times points on those.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, don't get me wrong, you are getting something back for something you're spending money on anyway.
Points that I wouldn't have had in the first place. So that's the way I would really
correct. You're doing it anyway. So I'm just saying that like when you really do the math, like what your expectations are in terms of being able to use those points, because those points are only good in the Microsoft store.
Honestly,
and the Xbox store on eligible stuff.
I'd bank them and hope that I could use that on another console. So when it comes time for console season, I got way enough points saved up to use it on that. I feel like that's going to be one of the excluded items. Your
points for like 10 years. Your expiration date the expiration date on your card will have come and gone.
Right.
Time you're enough to get what the next, and you know what I'm saying, what the next Xbox will be. But it would not surprise me if we continue to see like more stuff that you can buy through them that you could again potentially earn points on. So we'll see. It's an interesting new way for them to do stuff, but again, I don't even know if you'd be able to use it on everything on theirs. It does say that the 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate are for new Game Pass members only. Like if you sign up for this and you already have Game Pass Ultimate, you can't use it. But it literally says if you're already a Game Pass member,
you can give it.
You can easily gift it to somebody else, so you can play together. So. I mean, there is that. You do get the option of having your gamer tag personalized and put on it.
Hey, that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
New Joker.
I mean, it is kind of cool, but you can literally just
need that on my driver's license now.
Your gamer tag?
Be like, can I see your ID to verify? Yeah, New Joker 89.
Hey, dog, you're getting arrested. You going straight to jail, dog. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 Microsoft points.
Don't have your Forza score on there.
Yeah. Like your ID number be a gamer score. Speaking of which, just because you brought that up, saying, did y'all see the previews for Forza that dropped today?
No.
All right. Now. I don't know, but I heard people calling it a car PG.
What?
Literally, like a bunch of people got to preview it. Digital Foundry has like a 40-minute like deep dive that they did that has interviews with Turn 10, what they're doing with ray tracing and all that kind of stuff. But it's literally like you are gaining experience points for like making turns, like doing turns well and staying in the lines and stuff like that. Like they're literally giving you XP for stuff like that. Super interesting. We'll probably talk more about it more in depth when we have a chance to really dig into it. Maybe we'll do that next week. But yeah, so we'll see about that. Let's have a little fun here. Shall we? We shall.
Go for it.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear.
Is that choppy for y'all?
Oh yeah, no, it's the same. Yeah, no, it's the same over here.
All right, good. Well, I'll be honest. I don't know if you missed anything. I don't know if you missed anything. I mean, obviously, this is a teaser for a trailer that's getting ready to drop at the end of the week anyway. So we probably just end up looking at the full trailer next week. But I forgot Aquaman was coming out.
Everybody did.
There it is, then. There it is.
Everybody did. When I saw the cheesy trailer pop, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That is still a thing."
That was a random drop.
Bro, is this gonna matter?
No.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Like I don't know anymore. Like,
right, K Dizzle.
Only way I will go see this is if we decide to do a Spoiler Boys for it. Other than that, I can wait till it comes home and watch it then. Like DC's last projects have all pretty much missed. Like I'm until we get this reboot with James Gunn starting and get that underway, DC can just miss me right now.
As far as we know, that this Aquaman is still a part of Gunn's DCU.
This one was definitely in the works before Gunn took over.
Right.
Fact.
No. Just don't know it, because the thing is, if you tell me that this, like, Aquaman is not going to be a part, this Aquaman is not going to be a part of it, then it just makes this utterly pointless.
I mean, that doesn't mean it can't be good, right?
Facts.
Well, that would be Disney.
Well, that will never be a Disney Plus release date.
Yeah.
I have no faith with
what
this
happened,
movie.
bro?
I got no faith with this movie being good.
Not. I mean, did you didn't like?
I enjoyed the first one.
First one was. It was just for me.
Okay. I mean, it was cool. I think at the time it was like the best DC movie they had. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think it was better than Wonder Woman, so it was, like number 2. But then Shazam came out and was just like, what?
Shazam.
That first Shazam.
Fire.
That joint was tough, bro. So good. Yeah, look, it looks good. I don't know about the current level of anger that appears to be Black Manta and or why people would or should care. Mm-hmm. I don't know that the extinction level event threat that he just made towards Aquaman, same amount of interest as the Flash. I mean, okay, that's fair. I was more interested in the Flash because the Flash had this potential to be a straight up reset.
Yeah, right.
Promise DC will spend the same time building characters like Marvel did that were actually good. Agreed. Mm-hmm. To be honest, they should not have had to. For the most part, you kind of need to do it with Aquaman because Aquaman is and remains, as far as the general consensus, a joke. Mm-hmm. Aquaman is still a joke. Like,
right.
If they hadn't done it with the old Super Friends cartoons, the Robot Chicken certainly solidified.
Meanwhile, after all of justice, Aquaman makes a sandwich.
Terrible, dog. Like, they really did solidify Aquaman as like the weakest link. And then he wasn't even in the Justice League show. Like, he wasn't a member of the core Justice League team.
That's when they started making him a badass, though. When he had the one hand with the harpoon on it.
Hey, listen.
They did, but he wasn't likable either. So it's like,
he was a douche.
You try to turn Aquaman into an anti-hero. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. Again, like, DC characters just, ugh. DC fans around the world have been suffering in silence. The boys reinforce the idea of him being trash with the parody character. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I don't think they're suffering in silence. I think they are screaming from the rooftops and nobody cares. They scream
I think that's valid.
Because I honestly feel like every time somebody goes to defend DC in some way, they fail to be able to do it without mentioning Batman, which is, I think, listen, before y'all run wild with this, I think Batman is DC's weakest link. Period. Because they have relied on Batman for so long to be the only thing that made anything else they were doing worth doing. Well, let's put Batman in it. That'll make people care about Suicide Squad.
They put him in the Flash.
Hey, listen,
Two of them.
100
No, actually, three different Batman was in that.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and we'll never get the final one. That probably even see what comes about of that.
The payoff is just, I mean, that's part of the problem is that y'all people gonna hate me. Let me say this. Y'all know I like Batman, right? I don't hate Batman. I just want to make that clear before I do this. I don't hate Batman.
Right.
However, yeah. Batman is a key point in why DC, as a comic book company and as a live action movie / TV show / whatever, like why they struggle so much is because their core members are all based on gods. Like Aquaman is Neptune. Slim is a god. He holds the trident. He's too. Wow, that movie existed. Good for you, because you were supposed to. That's what it did. It reset the timeline so you could forget.
Me and Jokes can't forget. We actually saw it.
Nice.
I'd almost apologize, but I'm not sorry. Yeah, I just think Batman stands out the way he does because it's not just like, oh, he's a regular dude amongst these powerful people. It's actually he's a regular dude amongst the gods. You know what I'm saying? Like literally Wonder Woman is a god. Superman, for all intents and purposes, is a god. I'm glad you fell asleep on the Flash because you ain't missed nothing. Okay, those characters are so godlike. And if you look at, I mean, the Flash is Hermes. He's a god. Like they are literally the gods. And then Shazam is a combination of all of them, literally spelling out his name based on the gods that they all are. And so, like, when people are like, oh, but Batman, he's so great because he with the Justice League, he a regular dude. He not technically better than Green Arrow. He got better. He whooped Green Arrow. Like he got better hands than Green Arrow, but that's because they ended up having to give him powers. Like they had to make him a ninja in order for him to actually really be able to be with them. You know what I'm saying? They had to make him so much smarter in order. Like Martian Manhunter is like should be the most he is the most unstoppable. Only because fire is so readily available. If kryptonite was anywhere near as readily available as fire is, you understand what I'm saying, Sam?
Take out Martian
level
Manhunter
playing field
first.
all day.
Martian Manhunter beat the brakes off Superman for real. But Arrow did so well as a show.
Yep.
Because technically they leaned away from all of that extra, all of the really, and they gave you a story that really mattered, and they built the character over time and made you care about the people around him, about the people in his life, about what's going on with his sister and his mother and the mysteries, and like all of that kind of stuff. Like Malcolm, like Merlin is a F-tier villain, period.
They made him relevant.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Merlin the threat.
But like technically, so are the majority of the villains that the Avengers dealt with. But people cared, right? So like that kind of like building. So Batman stands where he stands because even when you go like Justice League Dark and you're talking about people who got magic and you know whatever, he just still be in there like, I'm here though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just be standing next to Etrigan the Demon, like chilling, like it don't matter. Like it's a little overdone, y'all. Like, come on. But that's why it works, because everybody else is so OP. Like, people are not singing the praises of Hawkeye or Black Widow the way they sing the praises of Batman, because they didn't like. Let's be honest, like Hawkeye kind of has to have some abilities, right? Like Slim just don't miss, like ever.
Something, yeah.
Either that or
You know what I'm saying?
arrows.
Like,
Yeah.
Black Widow doesn't get that same kind of love. She doesn't get, but she's playing amongst these other people who are also not gods, with the exception of Thor. Like Iron Man doesn't have
Right, that's a smart
what
dude.
Thor had.
And with money. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. So that makes it tougher. I think. And I would say, and this is my 2 cents, you can have it for free.
Okay.
Warner Brothers, DC, and AT&T. The Justice League needs to be revamped and redone consistently the way the X-Men teams are rotated and redone consistently, where you're constantly adding new people and taking people out. And when you do that, they need not be so powerful all the time, because then you also have to have the biggest events for it to be something they even need to get involved in. Like, why are y'all all together involved? Like, even Cyborg, like there's like nothing Slim can't do. Slim just be turning into cannons. Then shooting like what?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I can't just like give him a pass because he black. He only a little bit black, like right here. Like right here. Like he got it. Like I can't even like he's so like typical athlete, sports dude, real good at football. You know what? Like I just can't, like, for real. Like they could have just made him a rapper, dog. Like it's almost the same. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't. I don't. You know.
I got hit by this explosion. Now I'm a cyborg.
Just have bars for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
Oh my god!
Hey, booyah! Come on now.
It just ended every song with booyah.
Went off. And, you know, now you just got I mean, come on, booyah!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god!
Straight up.
That's the first album title. That's the first album title right there. Booyah!
The book
Have
of
you ever
booyah.
been to his house and the food is just look good? I went to that store.
Listen, he gonna have Teen Titans. He gonna have Teen Titans level, Teen Titans Go level raps on that shit.
Oh,
nah, they had Teen Titans level joints though. Them was all fire. They got bars. Like, yeah, I can't even. Yeah, I don't know, man. This Aquaman thing, I think is here's the thing. I hope it's good. I think there's potential for it to be good, and I'll be happy if it because I'm also willing to accept the idea of them letting go of this like kind of crazy idea of a cinematic universe. Like that doesn't necessarily need to be a thing, and I just feel like so many companies are chasing that Marvel Disney money by trying to have this universe that has all these other people in it and it's all connected and you need to see everything. Where it's like, nah, like you can just have like Aquaman has his own comic book and has for decades. He don't need them. Like they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like so,
and then eventually, you know what? Instead of giving us Justice League so soon, you could have saved that. Like literally, you could have given us the galaxy level threat at some point where they all had to come together. But like Cyborg and the Flash just got thrown in. Like the only reason they got introduced was because of Batman versus Superman in a video clip,
in an email.
An email video.
They gave us the Justice League in an email.
It just be feeling like when they write and they be like, yo, people are gonna be so excited when they see this folder on this screen. Shut up, dog.
No, we're
like,
not.
You know,
we're pissed.
It was happy to see them, but then they could have, at least after that, they could have done like intro movies. And like Aquaman, yes, Aquaman did get an actual like origin movie.
He did.
The Flash just got introduced and just went straight in, having mostly his abilities.
I mean, again, like I would never want to see another Superman origin movie. Like, don't ever do that.
You don't need to do it anymore.
Don't need a Batman origin movie. Don't ever do that. We don't need a Wonder Woman origin joint was cool because she hadn't had a movie before. You know what I'm saying? She hadn't had a live action movie. So that was cool.
Shazam's was cool.
Shazam's was cool.
Right, perfectly understandable.
Yes. But again, they were chasing at the time they made it. When they decided they were doing a thing, the Avengers was already a thing. Like it was already happening. And so now it's like, well, we have an Avengers. It's the Justice League. You know what I mean? So let's do it.
They hit the same way. And on top of that, you use the villain that the average person probably had no idea who Steppenwolf was. Like,
I didn't.
So,
I mean, for real, average person or Darkseid. The average person has no idea who Darkseid is. Why Darkseid is or would matter.
They would know him more than they would know Steppenwolf potentially, but
Darkseid in the like the regular people ethos is Krang to the Ninja Turtles to Shredder. Like people just like what? They know Shredder. Most people would be like,
you saw talking about a brain, it's an alien brain in somebody's stomach, a robot stomach.
It's somebody's stomach. Huh? What? Dog, that doesn't even make. So I want Aquaman to be good. I'm actually hopeful that it's good for a couple reasons. One, I like Jason Momoa. Two, I do think there's a very good potential story to be told there. And three, I kind of really do want to see Aquaman get a come up. Like, I like the idea that they're kind of like bringing the idea of Aquaman being something other than the way Robot Chicken made him to the forefront. You know what I mean? And people like really seeing that. And I'd be all right if we got an Aqualad out of it. I'd be okay if somehow that led into a Young Justice in some manner. I would much rather see them tackle those things and do the work that Marvel did to take B-tier characters, C-tier characters, and make them A-list players. DC didn't do that. They really didn't dig in and take characters that are their C and D tier characters and work to elevate them and tell their stories and make them, like, to be for real, if DC announced tomorrow that they were doing a movie based on like The Question, I'd be all in. All in. Because Slim has no face. My man just out there being a detective. And then they could use that to introduce Huntress. And they, like, it just could be. I would much rather see them do a Black Canary story movie than, you know what I mean? And again, like, I like her, but she's D tier. For real. Anybody who was like dope on Justice League Unlimited, they're your bottom of the, they're your joints. Go there.
Build them up.
You can absolutely do Plastic Man.
Well, what we've been saying, do Young Justice. That's perfect. A whole younger crew to get there, but you still have the Justice League that can pop in and show up from time to time.
They don't need to. They're there. You know what? They can make mention to them. They're talking to them on the screen, and the screen just shuts off, and we don't actually have to hear from them again.
Just Young Justice. Whatever leading to Young Justice, whatever it is, start there. That's the live action route you should be taking for the movies. And build your, if you want to build a universe, build it around that.
At this point now, because at this point, you know what? Don't leave the Batman where it is at. Let that exist in its own thing, because like I enjoyed that, but you don't need to mess that up and bring that into whatever James Gunn thing. So I'm happy they've already established that that's in the else world or else whatever they called it for it. Sure. Go to these other characters. I didn't see Blue Beetle yet. Like normally I would go, but DC is just making it very hard to want to actually try to look at any of their stuff right now.
It's not good. It's not terrible, right? But it's not good. Like Coop and I talked about it Sunday, as a matter of fact, because he took his son to go see it, and he was like, he was looking at me like that joint was the worst movie he's seen all year. And I was like, but that don't really matter. What did your son think? And he was like, well, he loved it. Like, he was about it, right? And he was like, and he knows him from like watching Young Justice. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he knows who Blue Beetle is from that kind of stuff. So he was like all in, which is cool, because that's the thing you need to do. but it's a bomb. It's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna happen. And then, you know, again, like Coop was like, everything we see, because his son also loved the Flash. And I was like, oh, well, you just failing as a father. That's all that is. You ain't teaching him right. He said that his litmus test is always like, was it better than Spider-Verse? And the answer is always absolutely not.
Yeah, you can't make that the bar.
Dog, that everything fails.
Isn't that isn't that the bar?
If that is the bar, like I would like that to be the bar where everybody could come to play at that type of level. But realistically, that ain't happening, especially in the DC realm right now. That sure as hell ain't happening right now.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, look, we off on a tangent and we might as well just keep it cranking. Shouldn't DC be looking at doing a movie that is animated? That like if Blue Beetle,
he's talking about in the theater, like how a Mask of the Phantasm dropped off. That was in the theater. You know what I mean? Do something.
Not like Mask of the Phantasm, because Mask of the Phantasm, though it was in a theater, was a straight to DVD movie they put in the theater. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like, you know, it got a bigger budget, but it still wasn't like what like a Disney budget animated movie is. It still wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like this is a time, like at that time, like Warner Brothers still owns DC. Like they're doing all their movies and all that stuff. They had money. They weren't putting that kind of money in. They put more money for real in the Animaniacs as a TV show than they did into Mask of the Phantasm as a movie. Right? Like the intent was almost always to like, we're going to take this and we're going to split it into 3 episodes and we're going to put it on TV. You know what I'm saying? At some point. I'm talking about if Blue Beetle had gotten the Spider-Verse treatment. If Blue Beetle had been a full-on animated project with like, let's do a dope art style, let's put this out, let's really put some money behind it with all the voice actors and all that kind, let's do it. It would have seen it again. In hindsight, it probably would have been like, oh, well, Marvel has an animated joint with a character of Latin descent, blah, blah, blah. That, like, you know what I mean? I'm sure there would have been some of that too. But I do think that, like, there's a potential that I think is being missed in that Enter the Spider-Verse is doing so well and has these crazy dope numbers. And it is the only superhero-based piece of cinema thing that goes to the theaters. Everything else, everybody's so busy trying to do live action. Mm-hmm. Everybody is so busy trying to take, you know, these characters and cast real people to play the roles and, you know, whatever. And it's kind of like, I don't know, even from a Marvel standpoint, it is, what could you really do to take some of these other characters and introduce them and have them be important if you did it in an animated form instead of, you know, trying to make everything live action and being forced to kind of rehash and retell stories. You know, I think there's potential there. Like I would much rather see like an animated, even a Green Lantern, like a Jessica, like it doesn't have to be one of the Green Lanterns we normally see or whatever. They got this vast universe with all these lanterns, a Green Lantern Corps joint that is a straight animated joint that could have been a movie that, yes, sure, could lead into a TV show or something like that. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of potential there that I feel like they're just missing. And I think that if they were smart enough to do that and push that in terms of animation, then DC / Warner Brothers finally does the thing that I've been saying for years. You capture the young audience. You get the people who are in and are going to stay in for life. That's where they miss constantly. Mm-hmm. And so Blue Beetle might have been a good attempt at that. But again, it ends up feeling and looking and seeming more like Spy Kids.
Facts.
You know, and how that character translates into being up with everybody else, I just don't know. You're right, K Dizzle. Prayers up for James Gunn. I think James Gunn, I'm not a huge fan of James Gunn's work. I think he does decent work. Like, I'm not like, oh man, James Gunn, he got it. That's not the kind of thing that made me excited for what's coming with DC at all. But it's also a known name. And when they announced that like Kevin Feige was doing Marvel, that didn't mean anything to anybody because nobody knew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the truth of the matter is the only reason why people know who James Gunn is because of Guardians of the Galaxy. If he hadn't done Guardians, nobody would have cared that he did Peacemaker. It would have just been like, oh, this is the person who directed it. Like, I don't think Peacemaker would have been the kind of thing that he could have made his name off of. James Gunn made his name, as far as current pop culture is concerned, from Guardians of the Galaxy, period.
Agreed.
Nobody was saying that dude's name before Guardians. And so for DC fans or whatever, especially if you're a DC fan who doesn't like Marvel or whatever it is, you're heavily in that camp or whatever, that felt like a strong get because they swooped him up from Marvel when Marvel fired him. You know what I'm saying? That was it. So now we're going to have him do our joint, which was Suicide Squad. And then it was over the top and it was bloody and, whatever. And that was to fix the Suicide Squad they'd already done. They had, at the time, the biggest actor in the world. Still was weak. Which, don't get it twisted, like Will Smith got a lot of terrible movies. But I can't take the fact that James Gunn is doing DC and be like, oh, all right, this might really work out. What I can say is that the idea of them having one person, for the most part, is the mastermind behind pulling everything
trying to keep
together.
things cohesive. Definitely would be a good glue to have.
1,000%.
That's the thing that helps me with that. And like, I also, again, am not a big fan of Zack Snyder, and they kind of maybe had that with where he was going when they originally started to do it, and I don't think he was the one to do it anyway. So,
stuff probably would have made, as far as his continuity, it probably would have made sense. But
possible.
But other than
I mean, look, there's a tragedy look, I don't think that the Snyder cut of Justice League is good. I don't. I think it's better than the original, but I don't think it's good. So for all the people who were like, oh my God, it's so much better. Look how great it is. No, it's not. It's not great. If that was the version of the movie that got released to theaters, it still would have been weak. It just happens to be better than the version that did get released, which somebody had to come in and pick up the pieces, because Snyder had a tragedy that happened. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing you can't, can't
control.
But that movie's, the Snyder cut of Justice League wasn't good. That's still not a good movie. It's all right. It's just better. Even if you feel like it's a lot better than the version that came to the theater, that's not saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Sam, what's a food that just like somebody put it in front of you, there's no way you're gonna eat it? Like, chitlins. What is a food? Chitlins. All right. What's next?
Cabbage.
So, like, if somebody put both on the table and was like, pick. If somebody was like, here's chitlins, you know what I'm saying? And you were just like,
what's that for?
Ain't gonna happen. And they were like, all right, well, look, here's some chitlins with cabbage. Are we better now?
No.
Exactly. I mean, you might be excited because it gives you something to do with that sword. It doesn't necessarily make it better. So, like, being better than the thing that already wasn't a good thing doesn't make it a good thing. Jokes, remember that, because you're gonna say that at the end of the episode. Can you repeat it back?
Nope.
I don't know if I can repeat it back, to be honest. Hey, look, man, let's wrap this up. There's a couple things I need y'all to know. Starting with the fact that the movie of the month for this month, I'm so excited. M. Night Shyamalan, Knock at the Cabin. Let me tell y'all something. People hate on M. Night Shyamalan. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think M. Night makes good movies.
Guess we'll talk about that when it's time for the discussion.
Yes, we will. So yeah, we're not gonna do a watch along for this one, but we will, somewhere close to the end of the month, the admins will discuss and we'll figure out exactly what day we're gonna do the discussion. But if you haven't seen Knock at the Cabin and you would like to be prepared for when that discussion happens,
go ahead and watch.
You got a couple weeks to do that. Definitely do that. Spoiler Boys for Ahsoka is live in Patreon, right, Jokes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just checking. Ahsoka's been real solid so far.
Facts.
Oh yeah, you know what? We get to watch Ahsoka after the show gets shut down. I almost forgot about that for a second.
Yes, we do, dog.
Wish I could have saw it in the theater today, but oh well.
I'm not.
I'm
cool. I'm cool. You was off today. Why ain't go see it?
Oh no, because I couldn't get the badge, get the pass for it. Jump was the Gopher Boat jump, so it was like, oh, you need to be in there so you could. Yeah, so that didn't happen.
I'm not going to stand in line to do that, dog. I'm gonna sit in the comfort of my home and watch that thing on all 4 of my Ks
with the AC on.
You hear me? You hear me?
Like,
but yeah, it's been real solid. I highly recommend that you watch what we've been saying about Ahsoka. I'm amped. I'm so amped to see this.
This next episode, I want to know if like there's something major happening to the point that it weren't putting it in the theater. Like you don't just randomly just say, "Oh yeah, this mid episode we're gonna throw it in the theater." Like I let me not take it back. They could do something like that, but it feels like there's something.
Yeah, but you wouldn't though. Like you shouldn't. Like so. Here's what I'm not doing. I'm not allowing that to force me to get my hopes up. I'm not there. I'm only basing my hopes and dreams on what the end of the last episode was like.
It is 49 minutes. I just checked.
Ooh, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. So, man, if you're not watching Ahsoka, I have to recommend it.
Agreed.
There's a caveat. I think Ahsoka is really good, but I do want to say that I think it's a lot better if you are familiar with at least Rebels, at least Star Wars Rebels.
Agreed.
As a show. Clone Wars definitely helps.
Nice addition, but no, Rebels is what you need.
Yeah.
Rebels is what you need. And again, even they recommended specifically, like Dave Filoni, who is like at the helm of this and like created Ahsoka and so forth, is like at least watch season 4 of Rebels. And I honestly think that if you do that and you did watch like the last season of Mandalorian, it's also going to put a lot of other things in perspective for you. So it's hard for me to judge for people who don't know Rebels how good this is. I have complaints and I voiced them something serious in the last episode of Spoiler Boys, but I will have you know I still gave it an 8. So highly recommend y'all check that out. We have StellarCon coming up at the beginning of next month, the 7th and 8th of October. We have Saucy Fest coming up at the end of this month, September 30th. So still a lot on the table for us. We follow StellarCon a month behind that with Extra Life. We are prepping for that. We do not have a movie of the month for October yet. However, November is already decided. That's going to be real interesting. Stay tuned. And then we also have Ocean City Comic-Con, like we always do in December, going into the end of the year. And then maybe, just maybe, going into New Year's, we'll do something for Extra Life or do another end of the year stream. We'll see what the people want. We'll see what y'all want to do, and see how that pans out. Sam, what's going on Thursday?
Thursday, Thriller Park. We are watching episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Made in Abyss. Masterpiece is just what I'm letting y'all know this show is. 2 seasons, 3 movies, 1 that's canon, other 2 are just compilations. So we're running through season 1. So we watched the first 3 episodes last week. I would say check those out for your own and jump in and watch 4, 5, and 6 with us. Because Jokes, do you agree that it's been
so far it's been clean? I gotta go back and finish watching the last episode again. But
somebody
dude, it was a long day.
I understand.
So far,
how long are the episodes?
22 minutes.
20,
yeah,
nothing
okay.
okay. Yeah, these are just normal
standard
episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's shorter. It's like 12, I think, episodes. 12, maybe 13 episodes. So we're just running through season 1. We'll revisit the movie some other time if people like it, and the other season after that later down the line if people like it. But yeah, modern. Well, one of the new still running masterpieces. Like it's highly rated. It's very good.
Jokes.
Yes, sir.
What's happening with wrestling, dog? Do we have another? Can we take a break for a minute?
Now we're gonna have a couple pay-per-views that are coming up. So we'll have WWE's Fastlane and AEW's Wrestle Dream, which WWE will pretty much close out the month, and then Wrestle Dream will begin next month. So stay tuned for some prediction shows. We're looking to have a special guest at least on for one of those. Once we figure out specifically what day we're going to either record or go live with that, we will drop it with you guys, and so you'll know. Sen, I think we've agreed on potentially going and seeing Fastlane with some other folk, I think is where we're at right now. So that should be you're dedicated. You're dedicated. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you say Wrestle Dream?
Wrestle Dream.
It's a
all right.
Well, it's a new thing to celebrate the owner of New Japan that passed away like a year ago.
Inoki. So I'm sure some people are familiar with the name Inoki. Yeah. So this is essentially a joint promotion between AEW and New Japan that they're putting on in the memory of him. By all means, I know some people are like WrestleMania, Wrestle Dream. Like this doesn't look like this is going to be like that type of show. That's all in. But this is more of a tribute type of event that they're going to put on with a lot of the superstars from AEW and New Japan together.
Okie dokie. Listen. Next week we're gonna be talking about Mortal Kombat. I'm just telling you now. I want you to mentally prepare yourself because next week we're gonna be talking about Mortal Kombat. Just be prepared. Early access starts in 2 days.
Damn, 2 days.
Early access on the 15th. The release date's the 19th. It's 5 days early access. You premium.
In
2 days, but
Well, guess you know what I'm doing after SmackDown on Friday.
oh. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing that could break me away from Starfield. Speaking of which,
yeah.
If you have an Xbox or a PC and you are not playing Starfield, and you have Game Pass and you're not playing Starfield, I should caveat
that's the
that
one.
Again.
Yeah.
Woo! Who invite you over to play what? Play Mortal Kombat?
I'm gonna invite you.
We can start a GoFundMe. Do you not have a console to play on?
Oh,
on in my life, hey, bro, listen.
Hey, look, I got to get out of here and go dock against a space station. You got to figure out how to do that all over again, bro.
Hey, bro.
No, it's not that bad.
No, Doc, I've got that. I figured that out. I got that figured out.
I need y'all to tell me when we get out of here.
Listen,
I'm just
for me right now, it's just these extra missions. Like you finish something, and then they give you like 2 more missions. And then as you walk past somebody else, you pick up another mission. And then while you try to go to that mission, you get another mission. I'm like, damn it, just let me get through a few of these. And not to mention some of those missions you go into, and them Jones is like 10 times or whatever your level is. So you get body when you show up on.
Bring it. I don't get body. Let's go. Let's go.
I don't get body.
Nah.
I get body.
I got Sarah with me. I gave her this high-powered gun. She be dropping everybody.
Didn't I tell you to give her a laser gun, bro? I told you put a laser on. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something else. I found a laser. I got an Equinox laser joint that fires explosives. Listen, dog. It's like it's a random joint where like every now and again, one of the shots will just be an explosion.
It's just being explosive.
Ooh.
Dog, she out here getting them, bro. Like you got to pay attention to what your people who are with you, like what their abilities and their skills are.
I gave her this purple laser pistol. She be smoking everybody out there. I'm like, yes.
Oh, here's the other thing you need to know about that, because you know that like just because something is like a legendary or a rare or whatever doesn't necessarily mean it's better. It means it has more.
We know what happened to K Dizzle. We know what happened to him.
Hey, you know how that is.
Yeah, that's been a couple people. It's like, listen, I saw that joint was red and I took it and didn't realize that I was actually stealing. Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you, don't randomly just hit somebody. I accidentally meleeed somebody, and that started to take my life in a whole different direction.
Yeah, didn't it? Yeah, like there's when you're looking at weapons, not just weapons, but the armor too. There's like 4 different versions of weapons that have nothing to do with whether it's rare or it's whatever. The rarity and so forth just tells you like how many perks are on it.
Yeah,
but the strength of the weapons and stuff like that is based on. I'm about to drop some stuff. I'll fill you all in on that as soon as we get out of here. Because this joint, my man said, I'm the captain. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. Stealing them ships, because I ain't trying to do no building. I don't really want to be building ships.
Bruh, Sin, I'm still not at the end of that quest line to get that damn
neither
ship.
am I was working on that damn quest.
I got stuck because they sent me to a place, and like I'm level 9 right now. And I went in there, and one of them Bamas, once you get like through 2 doors, was like level 25.
Why'd you kill him?
Facts.
I tried to. I died.
Dog.
No, listen.
I'll be smoking these dudes, dog. I'm literally not scared of nobody high level in this game.
But listen, and I hear you saying, but remember you talking to Jokes, and you know Jokes like to get gun ho. Let me tell you something, Jokes.
I've had this. Hey, listen, you would be proud because I also did. I played. I was in the beta for Payday, and normally how you guys will complain about me going off and do something. Hey, listen, I went in and tried to scout stuff. Like, okay, we need to find certain things. And I got somebody in it that just go right in the middle of the bank and just shoot somebody. And now all hell breaks loose. And we're trying to complete the like all we had to do was just go over.
And that's why I'll be proud of you, because somebody did to you what you always do to us.
No,
facts.
Because I was trying to do it the right. I learned very quickly that joint is strategic.
Why you don't learn with us? Okay, that's cool.
Bullshit.
Payday is going down. I'm just telling you right now. Payday is going to be a problem for Extra Life. That's just a wrap.
It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess.
But
I got to get a new controller.
You know if you hug the wall, right, in Starfield, like if you're close to it when you're by a corner, if you're right at the corner, and then you aim down sights, you'll peek around the corner. Ooh. Where you going, Sin?
Hold up. Oh, I'm not at a spot I can do it. I thought I was at a spot that I can do it. Never mind.
Man.
I was about to do.
Yeah, you just kind of like press your body. It's not like an official joint, but it's like if you just kind of like, at least in first person. I don't know if it works in third person, but like
I'll be playing third, so I gotta see.
Same.
Oh yeah, nah. I run it first. So yeah, if you get all the way, and maybe that's why, because I saw Cuddy say something about how that wasn't working for him. Nah, bro. First person, you get yourself like really close to the wall, basically like press yourself up against the wall, get close to the corner, and when you aim down sights, you'll just kind of lean around the corner to look at the joint. See, K Dizzle like, yep, that's it. I'm telling you, like, that joint makes a big difference. Also, my sneak skill, bro. I don't know about y'all, but that's part of why I be surviving, because they don't even know. They don't know till I start shooting.
I need to get mine up. Right now, they come and they see me, I just pull out my sword, bro, chop them all down. They don't want no parts of it.
Right, like
well, you know, I'm struggling because one of my traits is the boxing trait.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to take them down unarmed.
Yeah, go up to him, man.
And when you do what Jokes did, when Jokes is like, yo, I run in there and people be like level 30, Slim. You do not want to see them dudes with the hands. I will go in there and like mollywop them a few times and be like, you know what? You need to meet my lawgiver. You need to yeah, that joint is clean though, man. Like I'm having such a good time. And again, I hear the complaints that people are making or whatever, but for real, this joint is so like it's whatever you make of it. So go make whatever you make of it, man. It's a lot of tricks and stuff that are out there. And I just saw something about a new ship I'm getting ready to go after. Like I got the Manus joint, but
oh, yo, Chip, my man wants his Chip.
That Chip video.
He's trying to prove to people that he actually.
Apparently co-workers of his don't believe he did.
Hey, you did tell him that Chip was just stale too, so it may not have had his full potency to it anyway.
It doesn't matter. You got him a new one. Just give him a new one.
He got the new one already. He got to lose.
Nah, because they can't remember it.
No,
they can't remember it.
He knows it exists. We told him about it.
Yeah, I mean, I know about it, but you know, dog, like I'm not tuning in to see you, dog, unless you eating a chip.
And then
I pop right in to see that.
My man will show up at any given time.
Nah, but I will say this. Marcus. I heard it was dope, and they were both thoroughly impressed with you for that. Not enough that they could remember it to repeat it.
It threw us off.
Way off.
but they were thoroughly impressed. So
man,
shout out to you, man. These are two dudes that are pretty tough to impress. So if you impress them, you're doing something right. I will say that. Listen, we're getting ready to get out of here because we got to watch Ahsoka and we got to play Starfield. I don't know what, you know what I'm saying. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm also a little under the weather and probably should get off of this joint. But
fair enough.
Ain't gonna stop me from playing Starfield.
Facts.
We're watching Ahsoka. I'm definitely gonna do that. So look, let's wrap it up. Jokes, you got a job to do. Roundabout way. While you're doing that, Sin, you got a job to do, if you would, sir.
Yes, sir. So let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Particular Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Oh man, I just saw somebody say that episode 5 of Ahsoka was amazing. That came from Wes. And you know, Wes
is tough. He's a tough
man. Yeah.
Let's go find out. Thank you to everybody for hanging out with us this evening, for tuning in, for paying attention, for, you know, while we just kind of went off on a tangent about Batman and DC and Starfield and, you know, tune in next week to see us do the same thing about Mortal Kombat. It's going down, y'all. I want you to know. We truly appreciate y'all. Thank you. Jokes, tell them what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
That's right. Hit the like button. With that, we're out. Toodles and loose.
Loading snacks.